Welcome back, or as I like to say to our most dedicated followers, welcome home. We're all about self-betterment. Feel free to send your perspectives and advice so we can share with our followers on our Betterment Podcast, YouTube channel, and on our website, mybetterment.net. Today's helpful thoughts were sent in by Jasper. So, on our mark, get set, go. Dear E.T., I like what you share here, and I'm hoping you'll add my story about being positive. I'm guessing everybody can think of someone in their life who's always in a cheerful mood, that person who greets you with an enthusiastic smile and always has nice things to say. That person you always feel comfortable around because he or she bubbles with positive energy. Let's call her Olivia the Optimist. Now, how about the opposite? Most of us know at least one Debbie Downer who's the poster child for negativity. This person is a chronic complainer. Each time you see Debbie, you'll surely be filled in on every unpleasant and unfair thing happening in her life. And those troublesome circumstances are always somebody else's fault. Yes, Debbie sees herself as the perpetual victim in an unfair world. And as a self-fulfilling prophecy, she actually becomes that. Chances are good that Olivia has had many struggles and challenges, which she's learned to process in a healthy, positive manner, allowing her to dance through life with a song in her heart. Chances are equally good that Debbie has had wonderful experiences and opportunities, which are unfortunately overshadowed by her negative attitude. Debbie is unable to either let go of her perceived lemons or make lemonade with them. She hasn't learned to process life's happenings in a healthy manner. The contrast in attitudes is important because positivity and negativity affect a person's health, one's relationships, and one's attractiveness. The comparison between Olivia and Debbie is not meant to be judgmental or shaming, but rather it's meant to suggest that each of us falls somewhere on the spectrum of coping skills between the overly optimistic Olivia and the depressingly defeated Debbie. Thinking about where we sit on the healthy processing spectrum might provide a helpful benchmark, a starting point, as we take baby steps toward increased positivity. Norman Vincent Peale's book, The Power of Positive Thinking, with more than 5 million copies in print, is one of countless publications and studies highlighting the many benefits of positive thinking. Practicing positive thinking techniques is also the foundation of many counseling efforts. Learning to see things in a different light, to process things in a healthier manner, will improve one's life in many ways. It's a learning process which doesn't happen overnight. With practice, we're quite literally refiguring the way our brains respond to the world around us. Practice and repetition can strengthen our positive responses. In time, the brain will focus on the rainbows and ignore the dark clouds. A head full of rainbows is a wonderful and attractive thing. The Buddha famously sums it up in his quote, "What you think, you'll become." My respect for positive thinking blossomed while traveling internationally with my two sisters. I had traveled abroad many times with friends, but this was a first exploring new places with my adult sisters. We weren't sightseeing in Paris or Madrid. Instead, we were off the beaten path in a developing country. As we walked the neglected back streets, trails, and countryside, all of my sisters' comments were about beauty, which was sparse, sprinkled with compassion and hope. I recognized the stark contrast from what typical observers would probably be focusing and commenting on. It might be said that my sisters were seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses, but that implies naivety or a refusal to see the truth. No, what became clear to me was the wisdom my mother had taught us by example to process our experiences in the healthiest manner possible, to focus on the rainbows. My siblings and I certainly don't avoid unpleasant truths. We're quite engaged in our communities, working to make the world a better place. But our learned optimism has taught us to view the glass as half full, not half empty. This makes life more enjoyable for ourselves, for our children, and all those who interact with us. While my mother is still fresh on your minds, I'll share one of her regular sayings. No matter what you're going through, there will always be someone who has it better than you and someone who has it worse than you. I found comfort in that remark, as it has often helped me put things into perspective. It has served as a healthy slap upside the head, like when I'm watching a documentary or a news clip about somebody dealing with an unimaginable challenge, which makes my situation look like a bad hair day in comparison. Sometimes maintaining a healthy, positive attitude requires the broadening of our perspective, beyond our tiny little orb of self-pity. Pastor Joel Osteen says it perfectly. Nothing happens to you, it happens for you. There are lots of baby steps one can take toward building and strengthening more positive thoughts. We can copy or emulate the social and conversational skills of those we admire. Ask yourself, what makes that person so socially attractive? Then incorporate some of those positive traits. This can be as simple as setting a goal to always offer a compliment when you greet somebody. Anyone and everyone has something that deserves a compliment. I've missed you. I respect the work you do. You've raised some great children. Hey, nice truck. Compliments are icebreakers that help establish a bond. The best restaurant servers and bartenders are those who establish that bond in any little way. Another simple and effective goal for expressing positivity is to greet people with some enthusiasm. Act as though you've been reunited after years apart, like your dog greets you at the door when you come home. You don't need to hang your tongue out and wag your tail. Just make it clear you're thrilled to meet up again. Ask questions and show interest. Those of us who talk nonstop without giving others equal time are not good conversationalists. We tend to turn others off when we don't allow mutual sharing. I'm quite proud of a nightly ritual occurring in my home when our children were younger. We called it One Good Thing. Before bedtime, we would all share one good thing that happened during the day. Sometimes we had to think hard, but usually we could quickly zero in on a fun or rewarding experience. The purpose of repeating this activity nightly was to train the brain to focus on positives instead of negatives. I remember one of the kids waking me up in the middle of the night to remind me that we forgot to do our one more thing. That was clear evidence to me that our ritual had served its purpose. I was thrilled. For those readers and listeners who already feel proficient in positivity, just continue being a good role model and good example. Encourage others who aren't as skilled in this arena. Ask them questions that will likely require positive responses, like the question I'm going to ask your followers right now. What's the best thing that happened in your life during the past week? Thanks. Okay, Jasper, I'll bite. I had to take my vehicle in for service last week because 3 of the 4 seatbelts were getting stuck and having recoil issues. My vehicle is out of warranty, so I had some anxiety over what this might cost. It was free because the auto manufacturer has a lifetime warranty on seatbelts because of the safety factor. Score! Thanks, Jasper, for your positive contribution. We hope others follow your lead and send more tidbits of helpful wisdom to etshares@mybetterment.net and or visit the website. Love ya, shmov ya.